You do not need a sign. The moment you start asking for one, you have already confessed something to yourself. You confess that the thing you want is not yours, not yet, not now. And so you watch the day. You watch the faces of others. You watch the mood of the air. You watch for a door to open. Quietly, you become a watcher. That is the invisible pain, not dramatic, just exhausting, because the watcher is never at rest. The watcher is always measuring. And the strange thing is this: many sincere students live like this for years. They speak of faith, they speak of imagination, they speak of assumption, yet inside they are still waiting for life to confirm them. I tell you plainly, life does not confirm the one who waits. Life reflects the one who is. And the difference is not in effort, it is not in time, it is not in rituals, it is in your inner position. Right now, if you can feel it, there is a version of you who moves through today with a simple certainty, not loud certainty, not forced certainty, a quiet knowing. And from that state, things do not work out as a lucky exception. They work out as the natural order. So I will speak to you as I would in a small room in the calmest tone I can manage. Because if you grasp one thing at the beginning, the whole day can rearrange itself. But first you must see the trap you keep calling being realistic. The day is not independent of you. It appears so because you can touch it, you can name it, you can point to facts. But what you call facts are often only the echo of an assumption you made long before this morning. Most people think their mood is a response to events. They believe they are honest when they say, "I'll feel safe when it happens." But you were not given imagination to decorate a prison. You were given imagination to move. Assumption is not pretending. It is not repeating phrases while the heart remains afraid. Assumption is an inner acceptance. It is the moment you stop negotiating, the moment you stop explaining why it is hard, the moment you stop checking the clock. You accept a single statement as true about yourself. Everything works out for me today, not as hope, as identity. And identity does not strain. Identity does not plead. Identity simply occupies. Now, here is why you feel you are doing it and still not seeing it. You have been assuming in fragments. A few minutes of confidence, followed by hours of inner argument. You imagine what you want, then you return to the old self who expects resistance. So the day reflects the larger occupation. Not the short visit. Do you see it? You are not failing. You are only returning to the former home. And the former home feels familiar. It feels like me. That is the real battle. Not with the world, but with familiarity. Yet there is a simple way to change the entire tone of a day without force. It begins with what you allow yourself to assume before anything happens. And this is where most people unknowingly betray themselves. Let me speak to the quiet frustration. You wake up, you intend to remain faithful, then something small occurs. A delay, a cold tone in a voice, a message unanswered, a bill, a memory. And your mind does what it has practiced. It begins to rehearse, not out loud perhaps, but inwardly. It rehearses the problem. It says, "Here we go again." It always happens like this. I knew it wouldn't be smooth. And you call this being careful. You call it being prepared. You call it protecting yourself. But it is assumption. And the inner rehearsal becomes the script the day must follow. You see, the world is not punishing you. It is not testing you. It is obedient. It takes your private meaning and gives it form. So when you feel that familiar tightening, that urge to analyze, to defend, to predict, not to fight the feeling, not to scold yourself, simply to notice, I am rehearsing the old story again, then very gently return to your claim, not as a chant, as a decision. Everything works out for me today. And if the mind argues, let it argue. Arguments are nothing. The state you occupy is everything. This is why watching for signs is so dangerous, because watching is rehearsal. It trains you to believe that the outer world leads and you follow, but you were meant to lead from within. Now, there is a deeper point. Many can assume for a moment. Few can assume when they do not yet see. So the question is not, can you assume when it is easy? The question is, can you remain the person for whom it is already settled? And there is one practice that makes this almost effortless. I will give it to you next. Most people try to change the day by managing many thoughts. They attempt to control the entire mind. They attempt to watch every reaction. They attempt to stay high, and so they become tired. But you do not need to manage a crowd when you can crown a king. Give your mind one simple end, one quiet conclusion, not a long fantasy, not a complicated picture, a single scene that implies the wish fulfilled, a moment that would be true after everything works out. Maybe it is you at the end of the day, sitting quietly, feeling a kind of relief that needs no explanation. Maybe it is a simple statement heard from a friend, something ordinary, almost casual, that would only be said if life had cooperated. Or perhaps it is the feeling in your own chest when you realize there is nothing to solve. Choose one. And then, instead of watching the day from the outside, enter that moment inwardly. Do not strain to see it. Do not strain to feel it. Just allow it to be natural. Repeat it gently, like returning to a room you love. Because repetition is not for the world, it is for you. It makes the new state familiar, and what is familiar becomes real. This is how you stop forcing. You do not force the outer world. You persuade the inner man. And when the inner man is persuaded, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Now you might say, but my circumstances are loud. Yes, circumstances can shout, but they are only yesterday's echo. If you treat the echo as a command, you will keep producing it. If you treat the echo as a leftover sound and return to the new state, it fades. There is something else still. The final step is not something you do during the day. It is something you permit at night. And when you understand this, waiting disappears. Everything works out for you today because you are no longer bargaining with life. You are no longer watching, no longer measuring. You are assuming a simple truth and letting the day obey it. So bring yourself back now, not to hope, but to possession. Feel what it would be like to move through the next hours as though life were friendly, as though solutions appear without drama, as though the right word comes at the right moment, as though you arrive where you must arrive, naturally, no vigilance, no inner surveillance, just quiet expectancy. And when something seems to oppose it, remember, you are not here to wrestle appearances. You are here to remain faithful to the unseen, because the unseen is the cause. If you want a simple instruction, take this. Before you sleep, claim the end, not by effort, by surrender. Enter that small inner scene, the one that implies the day is worked out, and fall asleep in it. Sleep as the one who is cared for. Sleep as the one who is guided. Sleep as the one who no longer needs proof. Then you will wake, not searching, but recognizing. And you will notice quietly, without shock, that life is rearranging itself in ways you did not plan, not because you chased it, but because you became the person for whom it is normal. So tonight, abandon the watchman. Let the day be handled. Everything works out for you today, and you need no sign to know it.